stand to my feet now because Queen, do I need to stand up now? And there you go.
No.
Yes, God bless the saints. Hallelujah. Boy, if y'all could see what I just observed, oh my goodness.
One of those days, one of those days.
It's wonderful.
One of those days. Good afternoon,
Good
everyone.
afternoon.
Welcome to another.
You that are beloved of God, we praise God for you.
Well, we're both talking here.
I know, isn't that wonderful? But you know what that means?
Uh-oh, I'm dropping stuff
See
again.
that? That's what I'm talking. I'm ready.
Well, you go right ahead.
No,
you got chatter in the
why
news
you keep
today?
dropping things?
I don't know. I think I'm still under the influence.
Of today's service? Did the Lord bless you real good?
The Lord bless me real good.
Praise Jesus. Praise
You know,
Jesus.
some services are like that, and you just don't feel like coming down to earth. You feel like staying up there.
Staying up there? Wow. It was good. What did your pastor preach today?
I don't know.
You don't know? You just called him in the third heaven?
No. No, that's not true. He talked about the blessing, passing the blessing on, being a blessing.
Being a blessing.
Yeah.
What stood out today?
Pastor Clay.
Okay, you got it. What's the hot topic?
He's interviewing me today again.
What is the hot
stood
topic?
out? The service was a good service. The hot topic, the chatter in the news today.
What's the chatter in the news?
We have chatter in the news today. The chatter in the news today, I saw where the Howard University swim team was featured in the Sports Illustrated magazine.
Wow.
All black swim team. It said first all black swim team. And there are Olympic hopefuls. So I thought that was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Their coach used to swim for Howard. And they just it was both male and female. And so they are the chatter here, and they are great Olympic hopefuls. So I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. You know, I remember that we're still in February, Black History Month. But for us, people of color, it's Black History all year.
Yeah, right.
But we know that
it's Black History for your life.
It's Black History, period.
All your life.
Yeah. And I remember when I was going to college, and we did a segment in my sociology class, and it was talking about discrimination and racism. And one of the things said in the class was that we were talking about sports, I remember. And again, it's been long ago now, but I don't remember how the statement was posed or from what angle they were talking about. But they were saying something to the effect that, and I was the only person of color in the class. And my instructor made a statement that there are certain sports, that's what it was, certain sports that people of color, black people, namely, not other races, black people in America, did not partake in because of the money, because they couldn't afford to participate. And they brought up polo for one, and which I had an article where I had done some research, and that wasn't true because polo, you know, the people of color, black people, were the ones who kept the horses.
Right, yes.
Anyway, and who groomed them and who did most of the training, and they were the ones initially, you know, it's just that when Caucasian race took it, it was, they took it to a different status level. And so where people of color, black people, weren't able to participate because of the price tag that was put on it, you know, for the equipment, for the club, for the all that kind of stuff. And swimming was another one. And so I said to my instructor before the class, because, you know, this was an open discussion in the class, and I said, well, he said, well, you know, black people don't swim. And that was the statement he made, definitively. Black people just don't swim. And I said, well, that's not true. Because if it were true, then I wouldn't be a swimmer. And I swam in high school. And I used to love to swim, you know, Good Park, not Good Park, Birdland Park in Des Moines. Good Park was the other one. I don't think I ever, yeah, I did a couple times, but we used to go to Birdland Park because it was by North High.
Right.
And I used to swim all the time and dive too. And I'm like, so you're saying that, but you're talking to a person of color, a black person, who used to swim. And I grew up around that, and that's all Birdland Park was, you know.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
black people swimming and
Right.
diving
Right.
and flipping and
Right.
doing all that stuff. So, you know, so we went through some of those things in our sociology class. And I just thought it was interesting because the college I went to was a small private college, American Institute of Business. And I had said to that instructor, I said, well, you know, first of all, I'm aware that this is a private college, and pretty much the instructors pick their own curriculum. And I told them they really need to update their curriculum, and that, you know, it was a college that mostly, you know, it was predominantly your all white, small town Iowa students, you know, who never been around black people or anything. So I'm saying, when you teach this, you're teaching racism, because that is just not true, you know. And that was something from your opinion. You didn't have any facts. So, you know, things like that, you know, and we continue to disprove some of the racist ideas that have been accepted, if I can say it that way, by society. And there are a lot of things that when we don't, you know, dig into our history, and when we really don't know our history, there's a lot of things that we miss out on, and it stops with that generation.
Right.
You know, so when we don't pass it on, I know you have a saying where you say a lot, Pastor, that if we don't leave a legacy, we haven't lived.
Right.
And it's so important that we leave legacy for the next generations, our children, our children's children, everything, because that kind of stuff is going to be, is going to help them move into their next whatever, you know, in life. And so these are the things that I don't think they really know about, that because you don't see it, you know, certain sports, you don't see us, but I think we're pretty much doing good by making a statement.
There you go. Now listen,
I know.
you was doing okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
No, I'm not sorry.
I know, because you're going to do it again.
I'm going to do it again.
But you know, I was thinking about that, and I was you was talking, and I was thinking about my brother that was next to me in age. Man, we used to go to
he used
Berlin.
to swim, didn't he? Yeah, he was a
He
swimmer.
would get on that high dive.
Nah, I wasn't that bold.
And he would come up there and do that jackknife. That boy could swim like a fish. I never did learn how to swim, and I heard that same thing, that blacks don't swim because of their bone structure.
Is that what it was?
He said we was too heavy, something nonsense.
Something crazy, huh?
But what's so interesting, and you said something about Black history, that, you know, this is getting close to, and I don't want to say the ending, but how we pretty much
The
celebrate
end of the month.
You know.
Yeah.
But you being African American and Black, colored, or Negro. I brought them words in, right?
Sure you did. And those are terms we don't even hear anymore. So.
Because when I was coming up,
Yeah.
and what was on your birth certificate? Colored or Negro?
Colored, I believe. It was colored.
I think mine was Negro, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, you're a baby boomer, so it's probably colored.
I don't know.
You're a baby boomer. It's probably
Is
colored.
it? I don't know why Negro stands out, but when you look at what we've been called, and I was doing some study, and I look at how that the name was changed, and the reason why names was changed is because, and the one that really was,
Now, you're talking about our ethnicity?
yes,
Yeah. From being Negro,
from Negro to colored
to
black
black
to African American.
to African American.
You know,
I think we talked about this before on one of the segments.
on one of the Black History on February, yeah. But I was looking over time how we are really not too far from, you and I, from some of the major events that has taken place in our lifetime through Black history. I think I was like 9. I want to think I was 9 years old when, was I 9 years old? When Martin Luther King got assassinated. How old were you? Do you remember?
Let's see. 63. I was gonna say, I think I was 3 years old when he got,
So I was 6.
So,
no, you have been older. I was
No.
6. I was 6 years old when he got. I remember on the television. I remember. I remember seeing on that black and white Victorian TV.
68.
Let me see that video.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say 63 seemed like it was too soon.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
10.
You were 10, I was 8.
Yeah, I was
No,
10 years old.
Yeah, 8.
April 4th, 1968.
Oh, yeah, so I was
I was 10.
7.
I was 10 years old. I remember, and I remember when John F. Kennedy got assassinated.
Now that-
I remember when his brother got assassinated. I remember when
I think JFK is 63.
yeah, President Kennedy got assassinated. But that wasn't too far off if you think about it.
Right.
And there's so many. Now, have we made some strides?
We've made a lot of strides.
And you got a long way to go. But the thing that I focus in on in some of these, look at how history, how we, African Americans have really put a new landscape on America
I'm looking for my notes.
that we
for
still
the Clays.
don't get the credit for. And I was just looking at a lot of stuff yesterday. I think you came in the room and asked what I was doing, and I said I was reading.
Yes.
And I was just kind of acquainting myself with a lot of the past. And I started with Oklahoma bombings and the Black Wall Street. I started there. Then I went to Langston Hughes, and I went to W.E.B. Du Bois, and I went through so many different ones, just looking at our history.
Yeah.
And I was meditating like, oh my goodness, you will spend a lifetime trying to, I think there, I heard a strange sound just a minute. It was really strong. I think someone's thirsty.
Is that what it is? Yeah, they were drinking. Yeah.
But First Lady, I was so.
I'm looking for my live.
I was so
Sharing with Clays, I don't see.
involved in reading and kind of going back over some stuff that I was really, and some of it, makes you angry.
Yeah.
And then you look at how, again, that about being denied because of the color of your skin, so many things. But then I'm looking at 2023. I'm looking at how many mixed marriages, racial, interracial intermarriage that we have. And some of the things that these kids will have to go through.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at some in the grocery stores and stuff. Some of them that I see some Caucasian men and women that have biracial children and look like they don't know what to do with their hair.
Yeah, but
You know,
now
I'm just looking at just
now it's a little different. Um, sorry, I
oh,
was
you
trying to.
scrambling today. You
I
having a
am.
great day today.
I am. I really am. I think it's because I woke up tired. I woke up tired today. I know where I put a pin in it. I'm saying what my pastor says. Put a pin in where we were. I woke up tired this morning.
Wait a minute, for y'all's information, I have not been working your first lady. I have not been doing that. You know, she's just a workaholic. Okay?
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, I do. Ask me. You know.
But I'd been really working around the house.
I'm your
too.
looking glass.
Yeah, but I woke up tired. I don't really think I did a
You did
whole lot
you
yesterday.
did a whole lot
I
yesterday.
mean, I did laundry, but I didn't. Do
I
a
can
lot.
get you a list of stuff you did yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, is she crazy or what?
Yeah,
No,
I'm
you know.
crazy.
Yeah.
No, you were sneezing a lot, and dust just accumulates
I
like
know.
crazy. You can't stay up on top of it,
No.
and I have been trying to, like, dust and,
I'm gonna
and
wait until I
research
get.
solutions.
I'm going to
and all
get this
kind of
old
stuff.
to get the allergies. It's
Well,
just
I
unbelievable.
know.
But let's not work with that one.
But anyway,
that's a different story.
I was just saying I woke up tired this morning, and I think that's probably why I'm just,
okay.
it's just,
But it's okay.
yeah,
I mean, you keep
you have
dropping
those
stuff,
times.
you know,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm dropping stuff. I'm just like,
But it's okay.
just,
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and go to bed. Maybe. I'll try.
Oh, here we go. I don't need anybody to hashtag First Lady Get Some Rest. I don't need that. All right? Come on here.
But anyway.
Because man's work is never done. I don't know who coined that phrase anyway, that a woman's work is never done. I don't know who said that.
Well, I could tell you why it was coined.
Why?
Because back in the day,
Oh, here
we're
we
not
go.
talking about now, though.
Okay.
Well, really.
How far back?
We know that men's roles exclusively were to work outside of the home, and mothers and women. I'm talking about back in the day.
I got you. I'm with you.
So I think that's why that was coined, because women kept the house, kept the children.
But now watch this. Now listen.
No, I'm saying that was the old traditional
All
home
right, but
back in the day.
I'm trying to stick with you, but I just
Okay.
disagree because, I can go further back than that.
Okay.
Right? Adam working in the garden,
Yeah,
right?
but
He was by himself.
yeah,
Didn't have no help.
and he was cursed to work by the sweat
No,
of
no,
his
no,
brow.
no, no, no. See, now you fast forwarding. I went to the garden. Now you're going to speed it up for the curse. The man's work was never done, right?
It wasn't supposed to be.
Okay. I just thought I bring that. I just thought
Yeah,
that.
he was supposed to work.
Did I just hear you getting some help?
No,
Oh, okay.
it was just an echo.
All right. Go ahead.
Whatever. So let me go back to the pen. So now it's common, biracial couples, and not just black and white. Before we used to think of biracial as just being African American and Caucasian,
Correct.
but now, mixed. The races are just mixed.
Hispanic, Asian,
Yeah. So I don't really think that's really an issue anymore. Like back when it was really kind of taboo, so to speak. But so I don't really see that or really think that's
Have we turned the curve? Because it's more spread out now. Like you said, it's not
turn
just
what curve?
of different. It's being a little different now that we moved on.
Well, yeah, I mean, we know that we have progressed in a lot of areas, and then in a lot of areas, as much as we have progressed, things have stayed the same. But as far as we've broken so many color barriers, African American people now, where we weren't, areas where we just were not accepted, we weren't allowed to work in those areas. Just so many things. So we've gained a lot of ground, but it's just, I think I was saying before though, it's really important that we pass that information, those lessons, those legacies down to our children and our grandchildren and things. And these are the things I think are, it's kind of what's really being lost, because you have to teach the history behind the fact,
Correct.
of the
Correct.
matter.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
we're saying that now we can, but we're not the history behind it, because we owe a lot to our foreparents. And our children will never know anything about it if we don't tell them,
Right. Right.
And there has been, America's was built on the backs of not only Native Americans,
Asians,
but African
Hispanic,
Americans
African-American.
as well. A lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking about inventions.
Oh, yeah.
And that we're,
Yeah.
we're just finding out, even in now, even in 2023, even in this generation, that things that Black inventors invented, just like.
Okay, hold on. Stay right there. Let's keep track. How many inventions can you name? And then I'm gonna say how many I can name. Let's see who can come up.
We can name them, but
Okay, let's see who can come up with the
but
most.
I was going to say, man, it would be great to have the name with it, though. I mean, we can name them, but
right.
it would just be great to have the person's name as well.
Oh man, now that one I can't help you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can,
Well, let's just.
I mean, we know that.
Let's just throw some out there. Throw some out there that maybe somebody normally wouldn't know. For instance, and if you do know about them, come on and get into the chat and send it to us if you know the name. I'm going to. Why don't I?
Hashtag First Lady Get Some Rest.
Why don't I start out with? I'll start with something easy. The windshield wiper.
Okay.
You got one?
Yeah, but like I said, without the person,
I had to go
it's
get
so
my book.
void. I know.
I got a book.
But even the lights on the railroad track, the stop. What are they called? For the railroad track.
That they come down to stop the
yeah,
traffic.
the light.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I like I said, there's so many that it would just be great to have the names to go with them.
Did you hear the young people today in our right before the service?
Yeah, kind
of
before the service.
Yeah, before I got up to preach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
Catch some of them.
Yeah, some of them I didn't catch because
Yeah.
they were talking so low. But it's just so many that
it's really a lot. When I got a list and then with the names and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like I never gotten credit for it.
Yeah.
And the patents were stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like the entertainers, even the Black entertainers who wrote music, actual music, and lyrics.
Yeah.
We're not talking about just the lyrics,
Right.
but even the music that they didn't get the credit for, and someone else took it and recorded it, and they got the credit for,
Who was that? Who was the one? You are almost a walking encyclopedia when it comes down to musicians, whether it's jazz or secular or pop.
Not really.
Yeah, yes, please, please. I can sing something, not sing because I really don't know them, but you know a lot of songs I'm saying. That's not our music, but I don't know where you learned that.
I just love music.
Okay, who the one that was it the trumpet player? They would find him in the bar.
Miles Davis?
I think it was Miles Davis. He would be so lit, and guys would come in and wanting some music, and he would sit.
When he played with his back to the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he would sit and write out music just for somebody to give him a drink, and they take it in.
Yeah, and
You
like I
know,
said, it's
she
just
was
so
that
much.
good.
But some of this stuff, even like I said, some of these, the especially with the DNA things like the Ancestry.com and all of those, some of these young people, or this generation, I should say, they would be surprised to know that even some of these were their relatives. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Yes.
And that's why it's
Yes.
so important that we
Yes.
just don't lose a lot of history. It wasn't great
Right.
concerning
Yeah.
blacks, and some things, like you said, some like the slavery movies and stuff like that, I really don't like watching them because it just makes me upset. And but that's our history.
It's history. You can't
And
change it.
some
Right.
of the things, I think my on my dad's side, it would be my dad's father is my grandfather. His father is my great grandfather. But his father was a great. I think they said he was a son of a slave. And that side of the family, as far back as my dad's mother, were born in Iowa, which that's almost not heard of,
Right.
for blacks.
Right.
And they farmed in southern Iowa.
Black farmers. Right.
Black
Southern
farmers.
Iowa.
And so, things like that, if you don't pass that on, because we think, oh, where did we come from or whatever. And your children's children, don't know that. And like I said, 'cause for the most part, we pin that most black people, especially here in Iowa, aren't from Iowa. They come from the South somewhere. But to know that, my kids, it would be their great grandmother was born here in a little town. I don't even think it's even heard of now. It was called Montrose, Iowa. She was born there.
I think it's
And
still.
it was down
I think
by
it's still there.
Keokuk.
Yeah. Don't we still pass the sign?
This is Montrose? I don't think so. And
Okay.
my father was born in, they say Keokuk, but he went to school in Argyle, and I can't think of now the little town that actually he was born in. Really wasn't Keokuk. And so, it's these types of things, that when we don't pass that information down, it gets lost. And the children don't have a legacy that they're
Right.
really linked to. And it's really important to know where you come from. I think that's really
It
important
is.
for us
It is.
to know.
And not only, it's important because some of your features, how you look, and some of the things are like, man, they look like, I wonder where they got their looks from. But sometimes you can reach back into a generation.
Looks from.
Yeah, I mean, it's a question.
Well, yeah, knowing, because it skips generations.
It skips generation.
And you don't know, who's who if you don't
Right.
pass that information
Now,
down.
my mother's father was a son of the slave.
Your mother's father.
My mother's
Okay.
father. My mother's father was born in 1866, and they were
Your mother's
my
father.
mother's father. My mother's
a
father
son of a
was a
slave.
son of a slave.
So he was born in when?
He was
You
born
said
in 1866.
Okay. I'm just trying to put the timeline.
Yeah, and they served on tobacco plantations. When you're talking about the South, we always think about Mississippi and Tennessee, but you don't think
Not
about
Tennessee so much. I never really looked at Tennessee as really being so down south as I did like Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. To me, that was like the deep south.
But they don't
when
look
you-
at the Carolinas.
Right, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. But when you look at the Carolinas, Virginia,
Right, there you go.
you
There you
know.
go. Sugar cane harvesting, tobacco harvesting. Cotton was not a big deal until later on, but it was tobacco, sugar cane, fields. What am I missing? Come on, help me out with your history. that blacks were on the plantation? There were
Uh,
cotton came later.
Peanut farmers.
Peanut farmers.
Your beans.
There you go.
Different beans.
And there were a lot of black farmers. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And
Well,
actually,
even the black cowboys.
yes.
You know, they used to
do you know
do the rodeos.
The Lone Ranger was black. He
Yeah.
was a real person,
Yeah,
and he was black.
yeah. I discovered that with you.
Oh, I did. Man.
Yeah, when we were, yeah.
Yeah. And he did have a sidekick, which was an Indian.
Mm-hmm.
But he was, I keep hearing something. I wonder.
Everybody's tired today. We're all tired. We're all tired today.
So-
we're just dropping and.
So yeah, there's a lot that's really interesting, and how that sometimes we look at. I tell you what, listen. Now this is what I want to say blows my mind, but I'm looking at the determination that blacks had down through the years. You know, when you look at, sometimes we
Was
look
that your
at
stomach?
First Lady, if you
know,
interrupt me one more time,
Is that your stomach growling?
I'm not telling.
Yeah, we're tired. We're hungry.
I know I'm not. That's your
We've had it,
testimony.
see?
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, no, your stomach is.
So anyway, when I look at people that says what they can't do, you know, what they can't do, and they're feeling the pressures, and I'm saying, come on, you know, don't. I do.
But what does the scripture say about the generations? They would become what? Weaker.
Yeah.
Weaker.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Wiser.
You're right. You're
You
right.
know, so even
right.
though, you know, there were things, even us, we had to do things that this generation will never have to do.
Right.
Have to do.
Yeah.
Our parents did things that we never had to do. Our grandparents, they had to do what we never had to do. And when we say that, I think we kind of talked on that a little bit even last week. I mean, about even as far as whatever. I know what that was, payback, right? You know, all our kids have to do is push a button and wash clothes. You know, but back several generations before them, they had to use a washboard and wash clothes. They didn't have the luxury. They didn't have the luxury of having inside electricity.
Didn't y'all? We had a washboard.
No, we had a wash machine.
We-
I mean, I think we had a washboard, but we played with it. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that we had to have a washboard. You know, but our wash machine, the wringer, you had to hand crank the wringer. You'd put your clothes through and you'd turn
and if
it
you're not
yourself.
careful, your arm can get. Is that the one that you?
No, that was the electric one. I'm saying this one you
Yeah,
cranked
I
it.
remember that one. I remember that
And
one.
then we moved up to the electric one. But, you know, it was, and again, a lot of things went into that, you know, if you could afford it and everything. But I'm just saying back generations before, it wasn't even a point of if you could afford it. It wasn't so. It just wasn't invented, you know.
First Lady, you know what? Sometimes I think when we teach Black history, and I think it has become somewhat to a lot of young people, it's boring. And that's so much of a negative. You know, two things. First of all, history can show the dark side of things, and it was ugly, it was brutal, it was horrible, but it's history. You can't erase history. In a lot of my studies, I studied about how nations will conquer other nations, and what they did do when they went to conquer, they would go and find their library.
Yeah. And destroy.
The library.
history. Yeah.
If you destroy the history of a nation or country, what else you have to
Or if
fall
you
back?
destroy the history of a person,
Yeah.
what else do you have to fall back on?
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
it's just so important that we keep it going, you
Yeah.
know, keep it before
Keep it
our
right.
generations, so each generation will know. And actually, we're resilient people. Black
Yes.
people are resilient people. We have lived through some things.
And full of hospitality.
And full of hospitality. But we've lived, we learned how to survive.
Yes.
And
that's- yes,
we lived, and we have a heritage really to be proud of, even though the past may be dark, you know, even though we've suffered a lot of things. But that's the reason why it's so important that we pass it on, because this generation needs to know, like I said, even our voting rights and things like that. Take advantage of the blood that was shed for you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and those type of things, you
Yes.
know, even when we can't, if we're out of town during voting, we do absentee ballot. Just because someone paid the price for us to vote. Even if we don't like who's running and all that kind of stuff. But because someone paid the price that we could vote one day, I'm going to vote.
Put a pin there. Please don't forget it. Write it down. You got your card.
Okay.
Write it down so you know where you're at.
I'm going to draw a pen.
Okay. Go ahead and do that.
I'm going to draw a push pin.
What is your survival food? What was your survival food that you went to when you was coming up, just to bridge that? Yeah, your survival food when it wasn't dinner time.
Survival food.
Yeah, and I'm explaining it to you.
Well, you have to explain it because I'm not sure what.
My survival food. My survival food, and you that are listening. You can hashtag survival food and let me know.
I think yours has something to do with sugar.
Stop it. Let me know what your survival food was before dinner.
But what do you mean? That's not survival.
Yes, it was survival for me.
Oh my!
I was so hungry that I thought I wasn't going to make it. So you know what my survival food was?
What?
Sugar sandwich.
See, I knew it had something to do with sugar.
Mine was a sugar sandwich. What was yours? Did you have any?
I can't really think of anything.
I got another one. If you can't think, I got another one.
I don't know. I used to eat a lot of carrots.
So that was your...
I don't know. I'm just saying, I remember I used to eat a lot, and carrots were sweet.
Okay.
And we would take carrots and even dip them, put some sugar in your hand.
Oh!
Get it wet and dip it in
Also, you had some sugar too then.
Oh, I never said I didn't,
well.
but I knew yours was sugar.
Rhubarb.
Ugh.
Rhubarb with salt or sugar.
Ugh.
We'll find a rhubarb. Come on, talk back to me. Anybody?
Pastor Clay.
What? Let's see here.
How do we take history and get to food?
Survival. I'm talking about surviving.
No, that's not.
Oh, I'm talking about surviving.
No.
I got another one.
Okay.
Green apples and
Yuck.
green apples and
Shut
salt.
the kitchen down so we wouldn't eat before.
Who said that?
Mom would have to shut the kitchen down so they wouldn't eat before it was cooked. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm really not a foodie person. So.
Listen, coming up,
Now,
we had apple
candy.
trees, pear trees, we had mulberry trees, we had wild grapes, we had
Pastor,
well.
you're getting excited.
Yeah, because survival food. Listen, Mom was cooking dinner and it wasn't ready yet, and you hungry, and so we had to find something. So listen, I made me a sugar sandwich. Yeah, or when I got me some salt.
How did we get here from?
I don't know. Black history. That's
passing.
Black history. That's my history. Black history. Yeah.
How did we get here from making sure our next generation?
Something you said sparked it. I don't know what it was, but maybe you can talk about my. Well, you know what? Yeah.
Being resilient people.
And then you said
we're resilient. Yeah, because we knew how to make a meal out of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh, we're not even going to talk about that. I know, because my dad said he used to work at the packing house at one time, and he said those chitlins and things like that, they used to just throw them out, and found out that we learned how to cook them and make a meal out of them, and now they put a price tag on them. I saw some chitlins in the store the other day, and $20-some. I'm like, ridiculous.
I don't know prices.
Please, for that?
Have you ever had oh no, I
A
won't.
big bucket full.
And it wasn't even a big bucket. It was in one
Normally
of those
it's 10
plastic
pounds.
bags that were frozen.
Was it
plastic
10
bags.
pounds? Was it 10-pound bag?
I don't think it was a 10-pound bag.
So what does the bags come in? Or what's the weight?
I think they come in something weird like 7 pounds or something.
Oh, really?
It's not like the bucket we used to get,
Yeah, the
and
buckets.
these are pre-cleaned,
Nah,
so
nah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
And these said extra clean. Well,
Yeah,
it doesn't
You
matter
better clean them.
how clean they are. You know, you're gonna clean your own chitlins,
Right.
you know. But anyway,
That's maybe that's something you said that sparked that also.
yeah.
Survival food.
But I'm being resilient because we learned how to farm the land. We learned how to do with what we didn't have, and excuse me, we didn't necessarily have all the amenities that Caucasian people had.
Right,
You know, we didn't. You know, and we learned how to make things work.
Right.
And again, I think that goes to again the patents, inventions, and things like that. Black people invented so many things because they didn't have the privilege or the means, you know. And like you're talking about, even destroying our history, you know, coming from slavery, you know, again, they took what they could bring on their backs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're on foot,
Yeah.
flighting freedom.
Yeah.
And you can't take much of anything
Right.
if you're on foot. And then not only that, you know, they come from the south to the north. You're not talking about an hour journey.
Think
You
about
know, you're talking about days and months, you
Yeah.
know. And so we've been resilient down through time, and you know, everything is not so bad. You know, you can just flip it and show the resiliency that we as Black people have had. And even now, if we just, you know, and like I said, I hate to kind of say it that way, but this generation, I don't think it's a Black or a white thing, but the entitlement that this younger generation walks around with, you know, not realizing the sacrifices that people have made. You're not entitled to anything.
I don't have to give you my money.
Yeah. But that's
that's
that mentality. You know, I heard a young person say before they would get ready to graduate from high school, somebody's going to buy me a car. You know, and for us, it was like, woo, we're graduating. It would be a blessing if somebody, you know, I mean, if you even shared a car. I remember when I graduated from high school, and I had my license, I would share my sister's car. I'd ask her, could I drive my car? But we weren't entitled to get a car because, you know, we were graduating from high school. But then again, then we did our children, we talked last Sunday though. But because we said our kids weren't going to have to make that, because I don't know about you, but I rode the city bus, you know, to work, walk to school, caught the bus from school. When I went my junior and senior year, I worked and caught the bus from school, went to my job, caught the bus home if I didn't work too late, you know. But we didn't have the privilege of getting in the car, turning our key, and just going.
Well,
you know.
I tell you what happened to me.
So
and maybe this was my track to freedom.
Well, I'm just saying it wasn't an entitlement.
No,
you know,
no.
It wasn't that you just because you graduate you get a car. You know, there was very few people that were privileged. I'm talking about us Black people that were privileged to have a car like that. I mean, we didn't live in. My neighborhood was a working class neighborhood. We didn't live where you had, you know, those type of things. And then we said for our children, because we didn't get to experience that, when our kids graduate, we're going to buy each one of them a car. And that's what we did, you know. I don't think it was an entitlement. It was something we wanted to do because we wanted to reward them for, you know, and give them a hand up. And not a hand out,
You got
but a
it.
hand up so they could become, mobile, so they could either work or go to college, whichever one, and not tie us up because we were working. But
Yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
we've been resilient people over time. But I'm sorry, I cut you off. I was trying to finish my thought, since my thought process is pretty
Oh man,
hampered today because I'm tired.
You're on the road. I was just listening to you, because again, listen. When the year that I had, the first year going to high school, I had to transfer 1, 2, 3 or 4 buses to go to school. In the wintertime, I said, this ain't for me. I bought me a car.
Yeah, but you had to work.
I worked because I said, I'm not catching no city bus. All them transfers.
But until you did that, you worked,
Right.
saved your money.
Sure did.
So you could.
I did it quick. I
You
did
know.
about my, was I a sophomore? I think before I came out from my sophomore, I had me a car. You talking about working? I worked. Because I think by the time I was a junior, I think I got my car and I was a sophomore. About halfway through, I'm going to get me a job and buy me a car because I'm not catching no bus. It's too cold out. No, but I had that drive.
Yeah.
No one bought it for me. I worked and went to school and bought it. But the generation that instilled into me was that hard generation that men worked. You worked.
Yeah.
You provided. You worked, and you
Yeah.
didn't start when you got grown.
Yeah.
You started young.
Sure.
They had paper routes. Kids had paper routes.
And we babysat. The girls babysat.
And-
we babysat.
And then we cut
babysat
grass.
our mom's friends' kids and things like that. We babysat.
Cut grass,
Yeah.
shoveled snow, raked yards, you name it. We did it and got, 75 cents, 50 cents. But back then you could add that up, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But you worked, taking out people's
Sure.
trash,
Sure.
looking out for the senior citizens.
And doing what you needed to do to make money.
Yes.
It
Yes.
wasn't
Yes.
it wasn't a set, this is how you make money. It was doing whatever you could find your hands to do to make money and then save it. My mom was really hard on us with money, learning how to handle money. When we first, my sister and I think that was the first year they enacted the child labor laws or whatever.
Oh, that you couldn't work.
No, that you can work legally at 14.
Was it 14? Yeah.
But you couldn't work 40 hours.
Right.
And
Right.
she set us down and she taught us the whole money thing. You work, you don't spend all of your money frivolously. You get a savings account. We had to get a savings account. That was the first thing we had to do with our first check. And then you didn't get to say, Mom, I opened a savings account. We had these books, the savings account. You remember those books they had? It was probably about half the size of this.
I think I remember.
And they fold open.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, whatever.
I don't know. That was a long time ago.
But we had savings accounts and we had to save our money. So we had to save half the check and the other half we didn't have to, but we took the other half and we bought our necessities because we were teenagers, our deodorant, our perfumes and soap, stuff like that we wanted. And then we helped pay for our lunches at school, so.
You paid yourself.
Well, really, it was, you took care of yourself.
Right, yeah.
You paid yourself by savings.
Right.
And you took care of yourself with the rest of it. And then if there was anything after that, then you could play with it,
Entertainment, right.
Play, whatever, buy your candy. We used to buy remember those black light posters? You had to have a black light and they glowed in the dark. Yeah.
Well, them were the ones that was doing stuff illegal,
The posters?
Yeah, with the black lights.
No, No, the
I'm
posters.
messing with
You
you.
had to have a black light
I'm
so they
messing
would
with you.
light
I'm
up.
messing with you.
We used to walk up to this place called the Music Factory.
I was
Did
gonna
you
say
know
something,
that?
but I wish.
No, we weren't. No, we had black lights for the posters.
Right, I remember. I remember 'em, that they. Yeah,
And we
yeah.
would buy, my sister and I would buy posters, black light, incense. We would burn incense, you know, and
Is Evangelist
just
Collier,
stuff like that.
Is she on there?
I don't know, she was.
What's going on with her phone?
Is it? Go ahead.
You're talking about her savings.
Yes, that's it.
I found it. Somebody said savings account passbooks. We felt so
Yep.
grown up when we got out.
Yes, we did. And
Yeah.
they would, you'd deposit your money, and at first they used to write in them, and then they got to be,
Did they stamp them? They used to.
yeah,
stamp 'em.
they, after that, they'd
Yeah,
stamp the
yeah,
date or whatever
yeah.
you made your deposit, and then they got fancy. They had a little machine, looked like a huge calculator or adding machine, and they would stick the book down in there, and it would stamp it across there. That's what I used to do when I worked at United Federal
I don't
Savings and
think I was in
Loans.
school then. I don't know. That was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah, you were in school because you picked me up from United Federal Savings and Loan. Yeah, don't. No way. I'm younger than you.
Did I say?
You were trying to insinuate in this hair today. So yeah, but anyway, back to the important stuff. So we've been resilient people over time, and Black History Month is a good time to celebrate us and the accomplishments and the resiliency that we've had down through time, and that we continue to have. You know, it didn't just happen back when, it continues. We continue to make great strides and even make history, you know, with things. And it's just important that we don't lose that, you know, because it's so important for the generations to come, and even to know why to celebrate who you are and where you've come from.
Yeah,
you know, it's
yeah.
nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, none of us got to pick. We didn't get to pick if we were born or not, and we didn't get to pick what race we were. You know, we're here, and this is how it is.
And we made the best of it.
We made the best of
You
it.
know, and skies was a limit. You couldn't tell me what I couldn't do.
Yeah.
You know.
And sometimes that was your kryptonite.
Yeah.
Let somebody tell you what you can't do.
Yeah. And then
you did it just to prove what you can do. You know?
We really was so supportive to the older people.
Yeah.
And so respectful.
Yeah.
Because we know some of the labor, what they did. And I mean, people would just, if you disrespect an older person, look like you'd have half the school jumping on you.
Yeah.
Something you didn't do.
Well,
because the older people represented strength and power, and they didn't demand it; they earned it.
Sure.
And we knew it.
Yeah.
We knew that, you know, that if they were around, and I wasn't privileged to. I knew my. I know I stopped.
You know, that would be a good topic. You just ding, 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 send a bell. The things that are considered respectful and disrespectful.
Write it down.
You know, in this day and time, because, you know, we couldn't say huh or what.
Do you want my pen?
No. I have my own pretty pink pen.
Take your pen. Write it down.
My own pretty pink
Because
pen.
now when you talk to them, they just, don't you know how to say yes, no, and yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Yeah, you know, and you know the things
What
that
did you
have
say?
gone on. What?
What was your? How would you?
I was just saying that would be a good topic to talk about, the things that are now what's considered respectful and disrespectful, because we didn't used to, like you said, we had. I mean, we would think it, but you wouldn't say it, you know. And or you might think it, but you wouldn't do it, or you wouldn't do it in front of, you know. So yeah, and even those things have been lost in time. But we we couldn't say to an adult, what? They call your name, what? We couldn't say, huh,
Right.
and things like
Right.
that. So,
Yeah, I just wrote that down, so maybe
yeah,
we can
yeah.
we'll deal with that.
But
How much
anyway,
time do we
I
have?
think we're at our time. We got on here a little late because we had a few little technical. A couple
Okay,
more
because today was
minutes
really
technical.
we talked about Black history. We talked about the ending of it,
Yeah, yeah.
and
And
we talked about the
chatter in the news about
chatter
the Howard
in the news.
University swim team. I'm really excited to see that happen. I
Well,
want to
who
see
was the?
that.
There was a young man that he was a black swimmer that was. They knew he was going to be up and coming. I think he was swimming along with what's the tall guy that had
Oh,
8 or 9 golden.
yeah, you're talking
There's a
about
black
Michael
guy.
Phelps.
Yeah, there's a black guy that swam
Yeah,
in
with
that.
him. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and he was
can't
really
think of
good.
Yeah.
And he was coming like 3rd place, but he was really good. But they said he was one of the up and coming swimmers.
Weren't there 2 of them?
I can visualize one in my head, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah,
But
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is exciting to see. You
Yeah.
know, again, we continue to make great strides,
Yeah.
and we are a proud people
We are.
of what we have done, and the times that we have come through.
Say that again. We are proud people.
Yeah, we're proud. We're proud of who we are.
Yes.
We're not ashamed of who we are.
And the strongest thing that we have, that a black man has, is his family.
Mm-hmm.
We are proud of our families.
Sure.
That's what I'll say it like this. I remember in our younger years of being married, and you used to tell me, you worked hard jobs. You said you just working, I made good money, but I worked hard jobs. I worked jobs not because I liked them. I worked jobs because I provided for my family. And it did enough to where I was tired, but I was proud
Right.
of my family. You took time with our children. You dressed them. They had the best that we could afford, things that we could afford, and we were there for them. We took turns, and I worked at night shift, and we were able to rotate and go to some of the track meets and basketball meets
Recital.
and recitals and gymnastics, and you had them kids and so much stuff.
Yeah.
But
kept
we
them
were
busy.
proud parents, proud
parents.
people.
Yeah. Yeah, excited to do it, excited to help shape the lives of our children. That was all a part of shaping their lives.
And our kids had one babysitter. We didn't have babysitters.
Yeah,
Because
at that time.
back then, it was the man went out and worked, the wife stayed
That
home.
was kind of going off the scene then.
But we did it.
Yeah,
and
we did it.
My kids benefited from that.
They
our
benefited
kids
greatly.
benefited from that.
Yeah, they benefited.
And they really did.
They really did. And you think about all that you put into them, and it makes you proud. You know, I mean,
yeah,
they may not been the perfect little kids, but for us, they were perfect.
Well, we use the word,
they
I
were
know what you're
perfect
saying.
for us. We put into them all that we knew what to put into. Parenting does not come with a book.
No.
And I don't care how many books are
Right.
written on it, but every book doesn't fit
That's a good
your
one.
family.
Parenting does not come with the book. You gotta write that down. That's a good one to talk about. You were the school teacher at home.
Yeah.
You
But
said
it doesn't come with, it's a trial. We were parents for the first time
Yes.
of 3 children.
Yes.
We were parents for the first time.
Well, we practiced on our oldest. That was he was practiced.
You practice on all 3
The
of
second
them
one
because they're
we did-
different.
Yeah, well, that too.
They're different.
That too. But by the time we
know?
had our second one, we were not a novice.
No.
And by the time the baby boy came, we had it down pat.
No,
but
we had help.
no,
Because the oldest one helped.
we had it down pat, but we was tired. I was tired. That was it. So, But yeah, and so that is the pride of a black man to his family
Yeah. And
cannot
I'm
be
proud of
measured.
what we accomplished.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I am.
yeah.
I'm proud of,
Yeah.
you know, what we accomplished because,
Yeah.
again, like I said, all we can do parenting is individual. You know, none of your children are alike if you have more than one. And I can't go by how my parents raised us because it was a different time.
Right.
You can go by how your parents raised you because it was a different time, different circumstances and all of that. So, you know, you do the best that you can do and you love hard, you work hard and you teach hard. And
Yeah.
you can't be disappointed, you know, with what you have done. And then, you know, we incorporated God and biblical principles, and we
Yes.
believe in God, and we believe in the Bible, and we trained up our children in the way they should go.
Yeah.
However they
Yeah.
turn out, we know that was their choice.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, if
Right.
they turned against God or for, you know, you don't want them to, but you know, you raise them to a certain point and then the rest of it is out of your hands. So you can be proud of, you know, the job that you've done when you know you gave it your all and done your best, you know. And I think, you know, as far as, you know, again, circling back to the Black history, the different movements and things up to this day and time, up to this point, all the people that have championed for us, you know, for us to have a better life, for this generations to come to have a better life, can be proud of what they've done. You know, they've lost their lives for it. There was ugly scenes. Your Rosa Parks, get off the bus, and the Rosa Parks that we don't even know by name.
Over
you know,
1,000 lynchings that had been documented.
you know, all of those, you know, so we can be a proud people. We have travailed through time. We have forged through time, and we haven't quit.
No.
You know, as a people.
No.
So I think you know, we can be proud of who we are. We don't have to hang our heads, which we don't. But know what your purpose
Yes,
is. Know,
yes.
you know, know the thing that someone has sacrificed for you. And then after you do it, it's like I used to tell my kids, you know, when they were younger, you know, my pet peeve is kids tearing up things, and I wouldn't let my kids tear up toys. I tell them, no, you take care of that because it's going to teach you how to take care of everything, you know, in life, your car, when you get nicer things and everything. That was one of the pet peeves. Teach them how to take care of what has
Excuse
been.
me, I keep hearing like,
It's one of these days. I keep telling you, it's one of these days.
but you know what? You and for Black History, you are the epitome of a African American woman who have raised her kids, and because I had to bail them out.
Well, you're the epitome of the Mr. Mom Dad.
Yeah, because I'm saying, I mean, education is like, oh my, is education? You made me cry. Is education really that necessary?
Yeah,
You telling them?
it was.
Oh man, it was like, you know,
Pastor, but that's like Blade now.
That's another session.
Another subject.
That's another
That's like
session.
Blade.
Listen, we got to get out of here.
But you're proud of who they became.
Yeah.
You know,
But I'm
and
saying,
you
oh
know,
my
we just wanted to
goodness.
no, you're going back again. Blade.
Okay.
Blade.
All right. I'm scarred from
Yeah.
it. But thank God you did it.
But I thank God, you know,
Yeah.
because they, you know, and they probably felt like you did.
Wait a minute. We got to end this. Remember that teacher that was in high school that told our older son that he's not college material? And when he said that,
The woman got it from the right side and the left side.
oh my goodness, you going to tell my child that they're not college material?
Yeah.
Oh.
But look at him today.
That's what I'm trying to tell you something.
Look at him
So,
today.
and that was a normal thing that they would pass on.
Sure it was.
And if the parents did not do your due diligence,
If they didn't catch it, that's right.
go up to the school, go to PTA meetings, look at the report cards. Don't take your child's word for it. You send them to school to learn, not for the teacher to teach you obedient classes.
Or what you can't do.
Yeah, no.
You know.
No.
But again, that's
I
being
discipline you at
into-
home.
Yeah.
You go to school to learn.
Yeah.
They better not to discipline you at school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But praise be to God.
But just being in tune with your children.
Yeah.
You know,
you have
being
to.
in tune.
And listen, remember to do this today. Next time you see a young man or a young woman, tell them that you have great potential.
Yeah.
Will y'all do that? If you see him in a store, grocery store, if you see him at a gas station, tell them you have great potential and put a smile behind it and mean it. Will y'all do that? Don't let this week go out without you telling a young person, male or female, African American, tell them you got great potential and you're going to be somebody.
Well, Pastor Clay,
y'all
I'm going
do
to say
that?
your line. We're at the end
Oh, I'm
of
sorry, but do that.
chatting with the Clay, and, you know, you to take us out. Chatting with the Clays.
Well, we praise God for you, and again, we talked about, we had something else, but thank God for the headlining of the athletes that are at that college, and now they're swimming. And I forgot who it was.
The Howard University
There you go.
swim
There
team.
you go. They're swimmers. I can't. I almost drowned 3 times taking lessons. So that's anyway. But I can't walk water, but I learned how to drink water.
You can walk the pews.
Well, praise Jesus. Hey, hallelujah. So anyway, there you go. May
And
the
you
Lord
can
bless
fish.
you.
Yeah.
And Lord smile. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, if you like it, share it with somebody. Okay? Share it with somebody. And if you didn't see us, but listen to us on the mainstream podcast. So the next time, go ahead and show up, show in, and we catch you.
Chatting with the Clays.
There you go.
See you next week.
My brothers and sisters, I pray that this was a blessing unto you. First Lady Clay, would you like to say anything?
Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. Leave a comment. God bless.